phone because I want to share in a couple places as well.
Dr.
Here, crickets and
Oh, wait a
K.
minute.
frogs to keep me company.
We got some.
100 possibilities every day. We're rolling with Dr. K. Oh, Dr. K. 100 shades of diversibilities every day. Ah, yeah, we're rolling.
And the wind howls.
Yes, today, I'm going to tell you, my guest has got me all messed up. I'm not doing none of this right. She just, whew, we had a moment that there in the green room. Actually, my room is purple, as you can see. But good afternoon. You are rolling on the road to victory. This is 12 shows to get out the vote. I have committed to getting out the vote, and we're having conversations across the state of Michigan and some outside of Michigan and talking about voting. And today, after I looked online at some nasty comments, there was a lot of bullying of people online concerning what to vote for and what people would do if they voted for one team or the other. I said, we need to have this conversation about how to stay safe during this presidential election. And it just so happened that my guest, Dr. Alyssa Carter, yes, y'all put your hands together, uh, said that she had created this list. And she says, I think I want to do a podcast about it, but she was trying to figure out her time and when she could get it done because her schedule was so busy. And I'm just like, you know what? There's no time like now. And we just make it do what it do. And we were going to talk about some other things, but we know how we need to pivot as women, as women of color. Stuff happens. We got to do it and get it done. So we are getting it done. But we love shameless plugs around here that she has co-authored a book, and we are going to talk about that a little bit later. But just so y'all know, what are y'all talking about today? Because some of y'all, my friends from Arkansas, like to come in 5-10 minutes. Say, what are you talking about, Dr. Kimberly? So I'm just going to tell you, we're going to talk a little bit about that. But thank you so much for tuning in. You have two Black women with some beautiful dark melanin here. And one, she has her hair in a natural state. My guest, Alyssa Carter, has her hair in a natural state. And she has the biggest, most prettiest smile. And she's got the most beautiful red lipstick on, y'all. I'm here to tell you. And you know me. Look at her signature color, that purple and black. Lashes to match. You know me. And if you are watching via TRTV 25, today is Thursday, and it is the 17th of October, with how many days left until election? Oh, girl. 21, 20, 21 days. 20. We have 21 days left until election. Yeah, Yeah, it's close. yeah. It's It's close. It's going to be here before we know it. I have what 9 more shows to go. So 9 shows from now will be election. And on election day, I am so excited. Captain Kathy Williams will be here, and we're going to talk about how they are going to keep us safe and protected while we're voting and after the fact when people are upset because they don't like who's in office. It's sad that we even have to talk about it and prepare for it, but based on what happened with the last one, it's necessary. Yes, 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 yes. Hi, Jessica. Jessica Sharon says, hey, beautiful. Hey, honey. I love you. It was so good seeing you yesterday. Was that yesterday? That was maybe the day before yesterday. My days are starting to run together. Help me, Lord. Oh, hello, Pat Wembley. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are talking today. Oh, look at all those hearts going up. I love it. 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 We appreciate you for tuning in today. And we're just going to get right into it. You have a list that you compiled about different ways to stay.
Yes, one of the things we talked about was, tensions may be high. Now, they may be high the day of election and certainly after the election, right? And, as a life coach, I was speaking with a client and she was concerned, right? Because she has a teenage son, he's out of state. They recently bought him a car and he's experienced some things where he is. And so she wanted to talk about things she could share with him in order to help him stay safe. And these are things we all need to know. Some of us, we were told these things when we began to drive. I can remember my dad telling me, if you ever get pulled over, put those hands at 10 and 2 and don't move until they come to the window to ask you and give you direction. And these are some things I want us to think about. I think it's important, right? That as election time comes up, and we're out and we're driving, if for any chance you happen to get pulled over, a couple safety tips, right? Number one is to stay calm, right? Stay calm in that situation. Find a safe, lighted place to pull over, right? And when you stop the car, hands need to be where?
10 and 2.
10 and 2. When you look on the clock, 10 and 2, because that is a safe place to put your hands where officers can see them and they're visible as they approach the car, right?
Number one was stay calm. Number two, 10 and 2. Hands and
2. Keep your hands visible, and 10 and 2 is the best place to do that. And then this helps so the officer knows he's, don't shift, don't make sudden movements, because you may be nervous, but then you don't know that officer may be nervous too, right? So keep your hands visible at 10 and 2.
There we go.
Right, hands at 10 and 2, keep them visible. And then number 3 is just to wait. Wait for instructions. Hands at 10 and 2 and just wait. Don't reach for anything until the officer asks you to do so.
Thank you, Cheryl Jones, for tuning in. We all know who Cheryl is. That's her sister.
Hey, Cheryl. I'm glad you popped in. Yes.
And I want to say hello to Dr. Vertaji, who is tuning in from Detroit, Michigan. She says hello.
Hello, everyone. Yes.
We got a bunch of hearts and likes are going up. Thank you, guys. So we are, those who are just now tuning in, Cheryl said, hello, ladies. So if you're just tuning in, doing 12 shows dedicated to getting out the vote and everything that surrounds that. And today we're talking about staying safe from now until election day and even after election day. That people are really upset right now. According to the numbers, at about 12 hours ago, Trump was ahead of Kamala by 4 points. We know that that'll change as time keeps going on, but right now he's about 4 points ahead of her. And oh boy, people are starting to get excited about that, those that are supporting Trump. And so there is a lot of rhetoric that's going back and forth and a lot of bullying, a lot of cyberbullying. And so if you're stuck, I mean, police have their way of, somebody might vote for one or the other, and they may feel a certain way because they don't put their feelings away or what their political party is just because they have on a uniform. And we have to know that some people like to buy those types of cars and may try to pull you over. So, Dr. Vertaji says, great information. So our first one, number one, because I'm putting them up here. Let's see.
Yeah, number one is to stay calm.
Number one was stay calm.
Mhm.
Let me show that one.
Yeah.
Boom. Number one is stay calm. Number two, hands at 10 and 2 and keep them visible.
Mhm.
And number three, wait for instructions. That means that just keep them hands at 10 and 2. Don't be trying to reach over into your glove compartment. Tell me you're going to get something. They'll swear you're going to get a gun. You just trying to call somebody and say, look, I got stopped. Y'all don't see me in 5 minutes. Y'all come on, do a drive-by. I'm about to put you on, I'm gonna put you on speaker. Is that on the list? That soon as you see them lights flash, put it on speaker, put it on camera.
Right. You want to call somebody and have them listen. I just got pulled over and stay on the line with me, right? And
Okay, so is that going to be number 4?
put them on. Let's make it number 4. We're gonna go right there. Let's make it number 4. And actually, maybe that one need to be number 1. When you get pulled over, you might want to make that call before because that way you're slowing down, but you're making that call, right? And so to call someone, a parent, a sibling, best friend, somebody to say, listen, spouse, whatever, whoever you can call, listen, I'm getting pulled over, stay on the phone and leave the phone on speaker, right? And set the phone down, and then you want to remain calm and safely pull over, right? And then we can do those other things we talked about. So if we say
if it's on speaker, because a lot of people it's Bluetooth to their car, so they can hear it through the car, but they ask you to turn your car off though. So then it'll click over. So leave it on speaker or video.
Yeah, video. And sometimes that video may make the officer uncomfortable, but you don't want to end that call if you don't have to, right?
There you go. Number 4, call someone and let them know you got pulled over and leave it on speaker or video.
Yeah, and then I would say, we talked about waiting for instructions. Now, when they tell you, what's those 3 things they ask for? Your license, your proof of registration, and insurance. Right? So registration and proof of insurance, right? Wherever you keep those things, before you go reaching for them, tell the officer where they are. My license is in my purse, right? My registration and proof of insurance is in my glove compartment. Or if it's on your mobile device, if you have it electronically, before you move those hands, it's good to let the officer know where those things are, right? So when you start reaching for your purse, my purse is on the seat here and I need to go to get my license. To make sure that the officer understands I'm not going to get a Glock, I'm not getting a gun, I'm just trying to get my driver's license, right? So don't, we good. Like make sure they're good with what you're doing. Because honestly, we all know at the end of the day, at the end of those experiences, you want to go home to your family and the officer wants to go home to their family. So one of the best things we could do is make sure we're communicating well.
So number 5, tell the officer where your 3 pieces of information are. Cheryl said, I just had this happen to me on the Ohio Turnpike. Yes, I called my sister while I was being pulled over during that time. Yes.
And that's what we need to do. And we need to stay on the phone. She called me. I stayed on the phone with her, right? On the speaker. I didn't say anything. I listened. Right? And so, because that's important, right? The next thing I think we should do after we've told them where the items are and they understand they're watching you get those items is to remember to be respectful. Even if you don't know why they pulling you over, even if you feel like, you know what, I wasn't speeding, you know, to always remember to be respectful. And that's in the tone, right? Don't get an attitude because you know what happens. You get attitude, they get attitude. You respectful, they respectful, right? And so and we that's the way we hope it will be. Right. So it's important to be respectful. I remember now when I was a child and my dad was talking to me when I was learning to drive, he would say, yes, sir, no, sir. Right. The
Yeah.
question, you say yes, sir, you say no, sir. Right. Terms of respect. So make sure that however you respond, that it is respectful. Even if it's why did you pull me over? I don't understand. Just be respectful. I would say at this point to turn on your interior lights as well when you're getting pulled over. That way the officer can see. If it's at night, if it's dark, you've got to reach for these things. If you can turn that interior light on, that will de-escalate a situation as well. When you're reaching for things, they can see what you're reaching for versus if it's dark and you're reaching and the officer can't really see what you're doing, you don't want them to get agitated and afraid, right? And,
Then
and, and respond improperly. Do you agree with that one, Kim?
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
I
And
think.
I think that's something that people don't think about.
Mhm.
And even if you watch a lot of TV shows and you hear about things happening, it's always really because of not having, them being able to see what you're doing and then not talking about what it is that you're doing.
Mhm.
And,
And
those sudden movements or even going back to waiting for instructions. So that the 10 and 2, just wait until they ask you. Or if you're the type of person that keeps it above your visor and you have it in your hand, you can have, one hand at 10 and your two hand has your information in it. You know, you can have it ready or be at 2, and then your 10 can have the information and say, here you go.
yeah, I think that I agree with you. A lot of times, we don't always know what happened, right? But if we can decrease the number of things that could make a traffic stop go wrong, right? If we do our part to limit those things from happening, to help ensure that we get home at the end of the day, right? Um,
Absolutely, because they want to go home and you want to go home.
Absolutely. I think one of the other things that we could do is to limit the conversation to only necessary information, right? Limit the conversation. Answer the officer's questions directly, but avoid offering extra information beyond what's asked, right? The officer knows the information they want from you. Answer the question. Sometimes people may get into all these other things, right, that are unnecessary, or you may talk yourself into some trouble. So it's best to limit the conversation. When they ask you the questions, give them honest, truthful answers and let that be done. Let that be it.
There you go. Limit your conversation.
Mhm. Right. And then the other one is, to acknowledge your rights, right? Know that you can respectfully decline a search if asked by saying, I do not consent to a search. Unless the officer has probable cause or a warrant, we do have rights, right? We have rights in these situations, even being pulled over for a traffic stop. So it's important to know your rights. Now, and you can be polite when you say, I do not consent to a search. You know, um, we have that right unless there's probable cause or if they got a search warrant, then you got to do what the warrant says, right? But we do have rights, so it's important for us as individuals to learn and to know our rights. So know your rights.
Okay, did I get it up there? Oh, there it is.
Okay.
We have the right not to be searched unless there is probable cause. And let's say thank you so much to Crest Hallman for tuning in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have been a very loyal viewer, and I appreciate you. And to Tamara Robinson Love, thank you so much for your hearts and your lights and tuning in on today.
Right. And you know what? The last point I want to make is stay compliant and end on a positive note, right? To stay compliant and end on a positive note. That means, basically, um, remember to be calm, right? Stay calm, be respectful, and end on a positive note. Many people have driven off after traffic stops without a ticket, right? Sometimes they'll just give you a warning, right? And regardless of the situation, whether you get a ticket or not, it's just a warning. Even if there was no real reason why they pulled you over, you want to go home. And so stay compliant so that you can end that situation on a positive note. And if you disagree with what happens on the side of the road, is not the time to handle it. Right? If you get a ticket and you don't feel it was warranted, you don't feel it was fair, you can handle that in court. Right? But just remember, she has on there number 10, stay compliant and end on a positive note. In that encounter on a positive note.
Miss Tamara, thank you so much. She said, yes, thanks for the safety tips. So we're talking about staying safe during this election time. And if you happen to get pulled over, from now until the election and even after the election, how to keep yourself safe, because there's gonna be some, we don't want it to, we hope that it's not. But however, we rather be proactive than reactive. And that's how we are, I believe, a lot of the times, is that we're more proactive, we're more reactive than we are proactive. And so if we stop now and say, okay, I'm gonna write these down, and actually they're up here, you can see them during the replay, but I will, Sakar said yes. And we definitely have to tell this to our young men, because they always look like somebody that's done something wrong all the time. But even if you keep it on your phone, put it on a sticky note so that you have reference in your car. Because sometimes we get nervous when those situations come up, and all this might fly out the window. So just kind of write it down, stick it on your dashboard, and say, all right, if I'm stopped. And this is even after, back when we get to December, to always remember, it's just good to have it there, and we appreciate it. But that's what happens when you have a life coach. I'm just, or I'm here to tell you, she just keeps us together in all areas of the life. Coach.
That's it. You know what? It's so important. And I want to encourage people to share the live and let people know, share the information, share this live, hit the share button right now, because these are life-saving tips, right? You may see that, so, oh, that's really good information. This is life-saving information. And as we come upon this election season, we see it, you can see it on the news, you can see the tension, you can hear about it. We want to be prepared for every situation, and we want our family, friends, and loved ones to be prepared as well. And this is how we help them do that.
It is now 24 minutes after the hour, and we want to say thank you so much for tuning in. You are rolling on the road to victory. Michigan is a swing state. There are 93 electoral votes that will decide the election this year. And so from now until election day, we're going to talk about get out the vote. things that are going to keep you safe, help you to understand the voting process, what you need to go, what do you need to do, how do you register if you're not registered, how to talk to those who say they don't want to vote. Check out yesterday's show. It was awesome. Where you can vote, how you can register. If you are not serving a sentence, you can vote. Even if you have a felony, if you're waiting trial and you have not been sentenced yet, you can vote. And then on Tuesday, we talked to a 30-year-old who was encouraging folks to vote and why he's voting. And yes, my daddy says it's a poor frog that don't praise his own pond. It was my son being responsible, saying that he votes and he has moved to Atlanta, but he does have an absentee ballot. And so he still continues to vote. And he did vote early. And Monday, the 21st of October, is the last day that you can register online. After that, you need to go into your city clerk's office. We are in 50 states as well in 10 countries. So if you hear this, please grab your information as it relates to you. We found out on yesterday, you can go to vote.org and put in your state and you can find out who your candidates are. So you can make sure that you find your candidate and you read up on them so you know how to vote. We found out that you can vote less as long as you don't vote more. So if you don't want to vote for the president, that's fine, but please vote for your local officials because they are the ones who are going to make decisions about your day-to-day life. And they're the ones who write the laws for the president to sign. So that U.S. senator, and this is a great segue, because when you vote for that U.S. senator, they're going to write laws based off of what you're talking about on your local level for your state, and then we'll take it into the president to sign.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kim, you and I know that when the election season started, as we were running up to the primaries, we were in support of Hill Harper, right?
Yes.
And Hill spoke to the people's needs, and he came up close and personal with the people. He listened. He did all those things we want a candidate to do. He engaged with the young people. A lot of young people got out and voted for the first time. And that was powerful, right?
It was. You know, the piece that was the most powerful for me was when he said that when he gets to Washington, he wasn't going by himself. He was taking us all with him. And he says, we had a seat. And so he had these chairs and we all signed them. My name is on there in purple. And he would take those seats and put them in his office and he would always have them to look at, knowing this is why I'm there and they're with me. And all you have to do is call me, you know, and you can come and sit in that seat and have that conversation with him. That's what got me.
Yeah. Yeah. He ran for the people, right?
Yeah.
He ran for the people. And I love the energy he brought to the campaign. I love the compassion for people he brought and the understanding of the plight of the people, right? Because that's what we want, right? We want somebody who understands what I'm going through, right?
Absolutely.
Somebody
that lived experience.
And so, yeah, it was sad that he did not win in the primary. However, for everyone, I have a message for everyone, whether you are young, whether it was your first time voting, or you are a senior. It is still important for us, right, to be true to the blue, right? to be true to the blue. And
That's
that means, right? That means what? That even though our candidate of choice did not win, we still need to keep that seat blue, right? That's important because a lot of people don't understand the power in the Senate. People get mad when the president doesn't do something that they felt he should do, or the president didn't keep his promise. But let me tell you, the president is not doing anything that the Senate not going to let him do.
that's it.
If the Senate doesn't allow, if Congress writes something, it's got to go to the Senate before it gets to the president. If the president wants to do something, it's still got to go through the Senate. And if the Senate votes it down, that's where the power is. That's where the true power is, in that senator.
Yeah.
So you gotta, yes, vote for that president, but don't just vote for that president, vote for that senator too, right? Because the Senate, if we need that, Michigan, we need that seat blue. So if in June, if the candidate that you voted for in August is not in the race now, you still need to be blue. You still need to vote blue. And right now, we know that's Representative Alyssa Slotkin is the Democrat senator. So if you are a Democrat and you voted for Harper, we want to encourage you to cast your vote for Alyssa Slotkin, because we still need that seat. Even if he's not in it, we still need the seat.
We need it. We need to keep it blue. It belonged to Senator Debbie Stabenow. And I'm telling you, you could call her to help you to get things done. Ask a veteran. Ask a veteran. Calling her office and saying, hey, hello, my case is taking a long time, or this is not working out. Trust me, she had somebody on the case finding out. And I get goosebumps when I think about it, because it makes me think about my dad, the number of times, we made that phone call, and even the last phone call that was made, and we finally got it. And he was able to get 30 years worth of back pay. 30 years at 100%. This is why you have to vote. Pay attention. And I'm going to say this because I'm not going to have Rogers on the show. I'm not going to talk about his issues. This is 100 Shades of Diverse Ability, where we improve the quality of life for persons with diverse abilities legislatively, economically, through community partnerships and education. That is what I built 100 Shades of Diverse Ability on. So you can choose not to watch anymore. That is fine. I am a Democrat, and yes, I do endorse a Democrat. There are times where I think that all Democrats and all of their issues are correct? Absolutely not. Nor do I think that all that the Republican Party is doing and saying is correct. But I don't think that it's all wrong either. There are some things that I like about, what the Republicans are doing and things that they stand for. There are a lot of things that I appreciate and love about my Democrats. And so I just have to weigh the two. But this election cycle, there is no weighing. The scales are not balanced. It is absolutely Democrat because of the issues and what they stand for.
Absolutely.
That's what's important, is that I'm voting about the issue and who is supporting the issue that is going to affect my family and those that are around me, those that I have here on the show. And when we talk about women's rights, there's not one Republican candidate that is allowing a woman to have a choice over her body. They're saying that the government has to be involved. So in that case, I cannot vote, Republican. And there's nothing for us to have a conversation about, because you all have made it very, very clear, based off of your social media posts, based off of the information that you are doing in your commercials. So, I mean, this one is a no-brainer that we're not voting right now a party, we're voting the issues.
Right.
And it just so happens that the Democratic Party is supporting the issues that are going to affect our daily lives.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. And I would say that there are so many people who, for anybody who's thinking about, well, my vote doesn't count. Your vote is your voice in this election. Just like Dr. Kimberly said, when we talk about parties, who supports the women's rights? As a woman, that should be concerning to you. That people think that you don't have a decision in whatever you do. And I think about the women who have had to do certain things to live.
I think I can share this. Can you see? Do you see that?
I do.
Okay, I'm going to bring the screen up so folks can see. In that picture, as you can see, we're all holding hands with our state rep for the U.S. Senate. And in that moment, as we're all looking down and we're all holding hands, it was saying that we agreed to stay true to blue. And that we were telling her, hey, now you know that we voted for the other guy in the primary, but we are staying true to blue, and that we were putting our support behind her, and we were there for her. She had a prayer breakfast, and it was October 9th. It was October 9th. We want to say thank you to Tracy Walls for tuning in. She's a United States Army, I believe, veteran. I think she's Army, and she's tuning in from Maryland. Thank you, Tracy, for tuning in. I appreciate you. Yes, Maryland is in the house, guys.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah,
So,
when
okay, hold on. So that is the first one, and I think where we all agreed that we were going to stay true to blue. And then the next one, there we are. Did it? Yeah. Boom. That's real right there, guys. You see that we're holding hands. We're holding hands.
Yeah, that was our honor and democracy, right?
Yeah. Yep. Our right to choose. Because black and then women, so we're Black women, were the very last ones to get to have the right to vote. And I'm not gonna cry. Okay. I have to get my little, because I just get emotional about this. And it became so prevalent for me. When I think about the number of times decisions have been made about me, for me, concerning me, without including me.
Mhm.
And when you're a person with a disability, that happens a lot. Okay, I know what that noise is. What is that?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, but there's some noise. Do you have something else open?
I don't think so. I'm not hearing it.
Okay. uh,
Can you
my
do-
first opportunity to be able to say that was in 2019 when or in 2018, Governor Snyder had an $8 million mobility challenge grant. We gave out the first part of it in 2018. 15 days into Governor Whitmer's time in office, she was in office 15 days when $4.7 million of that grant was left that had to be dispersed. And here I was on stage, Cobo Hall, during the Detroit car show with all of these bigwig folks, the newly appointed governor, the vice president of Pure Michigan, the MDOT director, the Michigan Department of Transportation, and some other folks. And then there's me giving out $4.7 million for mobility grants for the elderly, the disabled, and veterans. There were about 10,000 folks. There were probably more than 1,000 news outlets. I had never seen so many lights and cameras in my life. I'm like, they don't even have this many during the Emmys. Come on now, the Grammys. They don't, it was just blinding, and I was sweating profusely. And in that moment, I had an opportunity to make a decision about who am I going to be in this wheelchair, because I was still not happy about it, because today makes 11 years. So October 17th of 2013, I was at 5 a.m. prayer and had a stroke in church. And here it is. I'm still angry with God as I'm sitting on this stage, and I had to figure out, why am I here? Yep, this is an opportunity, but still upset about the fact that I'm in this chair. And they gave the mic to someone from Lansing, from the Disability Network in Lansing. And they said, Governor, how do we know that this money is really going to make a difference in our lives? Yep, we need transportation. But how do we know that you're not just doing this because you're newly in office? And she paused. She hesitated for a moment. And we all had mics. And I looked down there at her and I said, Governor, I got you. I got this one. And I said, because of this grant and me being on this stage, never again will decisions be made about us, for us, concerning us, without us being at the table. And I said, and they don't have to have me at the table, because all I need is a seat in the room. And I said, and I come with my own, so I'm good to go. The crowd went crazy.
That's powerful.
And in that moment, in that moment, I knew who I wanted to be. And I was okay about being in this wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
I was okay with it. And I accepted my assignment.
That's powerful. You knew at that moment it was no longer just about you, but you had to be a voice for millions of people.
Yep.
Yeah, that's powerful.
You have those moments where you just have to pivot. And I have just truly been blessed. And for me to be able to spend this 11th anniversary doing this, that I get it, I had to pivot. That picture means so much to me, to see three women coming together. And they say that women can't come together, they can't bond, they can't get things done. We're so emotional, but guess what? We pivoted
Yeah, we did.
like that.
Yeah, we did what needed to be done, right? We did what needed to be done. And I think about Ephesians 4:3. It says, make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace.
Yeah,
And so we did what we needed to do, right? And we need to unify the party. So if there are people out there, Democrats who are like, well, my candidate didn't win, but you're still blue, you're still a Democrat, and we still need that seat.
we do.
And so we need that vote. We need to vote.
We do. It's now 45 minutes after the hour. It's amazing how quickly the time goes when you're having fun and things done. Exciting stuff that's going on here. Um, if you're watching via GRTV 25, today is Thursday, and it is, oh my goodness, October 17th. And my guest today is Dr. Alyssa Carter, and she's everybody's everything. She's your sister, she's your TT, she your cousin, she your friend. She is your accountability partner. She is the one that will check you and tell you the truth in love. She loves you enough to tell you the truth, is what I appreciate. And she knows how to pivot. But most of all, she knows how to tell a story. She is an author. Yes, we're putting our hands together. For those of you who do not know, in sign language, that's clapping. And since I only have one good hand, I'm clapping. We're excited. So in your new book, are you talking about some of the things that you've done so far? What's it about?
Yes, Dr. Kimberly. Let me just start with thank you. Thank you for having me on your show today and having these great conversations, right? And where so many people can take part and listen and then catch the replays. And let me tell you about this book.
Girl, okay.
Now, this book is part of
Okay.
part of an anthology where 10 Black women across the country come together and tell our story.
Oh my goodness.
So, if you like stories, these are true stories. If you need to be encouraged, there is encouragement, there is empowerment, there is inspiration. This book called Trailblazers has been so, and I'm proud to say I am now a best-selling author.
Woohoo!
Book has achieved bestseller in five different categories.
Count them friends and neighbors.
5 different
Oh my
categories.
God, good angles. Look.
Absolutely. And so it is it is a great book to read. It is a great book to give to others. And I'm writing about a life experience, a valley experience
Mhm.
that I went through during the pandemic,
Ooh.
right? Like we all went through the pandemic. I don't think there's a person that can hear and understand my voice. I'm gonna clarify that because an adult that didn't go through it, right? We all went through the pandemic and we all had different experiences. Some people, for some, it was not life changing. For me, it was life changing. And so I write about my experience and how it changed my life, right?
Mm.
And so I found myself in a valley experience. And Dr. Kimberly, I have served in ministry since 1996. I have helped many people in dark places find light. But during the pandemic is when I found myself in the valley. And not to say that my life was perfect, not to say that I didn't have trials and tribulations throughout my life, because I did. But this
Mhm.
was a very, very dark place. And I was able to, based on my life experiences and my relationship with God, find light in the valley. And I write about it because I want to help others find light in the valley, whether a person is going through anxiety, depression, bitterness, loneliness, um, sickness, whatever it is. Um, I want to be able to help, and I believe that my story will help people find light in the valley and embrace trust, right? And so this book is life changing, and I believe that's why we've achieved the bestseller in not just one, but 5 categories. Because as you read the stories of women like myself, and the stories range from job loss to loss of a loved one, loss of a spouse, financial ruins. The stories vary and they cross many different genres, and so this is a book that anyone, male or female,
And what's it called?
it's called Trailblazers. And so I'm having, I will share the link to get the book. Um, I'll share the link with you so we can drop it maybe in the comments if you don't have it yet. But also, shameless plug, as Dr. Kimberly talked about earlier. I'm having a book signing on Saturday, October 19th. That is this Saturday, October 19th, here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at the Grand Rapids African American Museum and Archives, which is downtown Grand Rapids. They're located at 87 Monroe Center. Downtown, there is a parking ramp connected to the building that they're in. You can park there and get an hour free parking. I'm going to be there between 1 and 3 p.m. So you can come on in and get a signed copy of the book. We can take a picture together. About 1:30, the visionary for the anthology, as well as a couple of the authors, will pop in on a Zoom. So people can ask questions for those who've already purchased the book from me. And maybe you have questions, you've read a story. Or if you enjoy book clubs or you're part of a book club, this is an excellent book for that. And Saturday is a great time to meet some of the authors and ask questions, or get their information, um, and invite them. We've popped in on book clubs to, when they get to our chapter, to answer questions and talk to those who are reading the book.
Well, we're going to have to, after the election, get those ladies all together and have you all come on together, and we can have that conversation. I will be there on Saturday. So if you want to actually meet me in person, I know there's some people, I've gone out, I've been out a lot lately, and they're like, oh my gosh, I know you. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then they tell me, I see you on Rolling on the Road. Oh, okay. How's it going?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm honored that you will be there on Saturday. So, guys, come on down, meet Dr. Kimberly and myself at the Grand Rapids African American Museum. That's this Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. She's got the address there. So, come on down and meet Dr. Kimberly from Rolling on the Road, 87 Monroe Center. Saturday.
And I will be purchasing some books. So, as some of the folks that are on here today, I see you, and you'll be getting a book on me. Now, it's not gonna say what mine say, okay? So just it's gonna be general because I can't remember everybody's name, but I'm at least try to remember most folks' names that I see on here. And especially those that are always tuning in. I'm gonna make sure that you get a book like Secrest Hallman. Thank you so much. She
Oh,
is faithful, faithful, faithful. She has been watched every single show so far this week.
awesome. That's powerful. That's powerful. So y'all, now we know who gets some good information. It's the Crest has got some really good information because these shows are always packed with
And
valuable information.
Tamara, you will receive a book. I will find you. I don't know if you're following or you just watched the show today, but I will find you. In fact, yep, I'll find you. You'll get a book. Or if are you in the Grand Rapids area? If you're in the Grand Rapids area, meet me down there and grab your book. It is on me. For all others, the books are $20 on that day.
Yeah.
And if you purchase a book after the fact, then it is $25. And that includes shipping anywhere in the US and overseas for those folks who are in our top 10 countries, Nigeria being our top country that we're in.
It's powerful. That's awesome.
And I definitely will be sending one to Rita Ophili, who is in Nigeria. You will be receiving a book. She is a loyal fan from Nigeria. We have had her on the show, and we're trying to get her here to the United States. So everybody, point your hand this way and send good vibes that we can get her to the United States. Oh, okay. Alyssa, she says she's going to be out of town.
Okay.
But she can come and get it from you if that's okay. Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Just know that the book is on me.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Dr. Kimberly.
So we like to support those who are doing, and that's what it's about. It's not just because it's the show, but it's about sowing seeds into good ground. So there takes one to plant, another to water, but it's God that gives the increase. So we say now that we're sowing into your life, and as well as I'm watering and sowing at the same time. So I'm sowing and I'm watering, and I'm going to watch God increase in your life and all that you're doing. And I'm excited to tell all your friends in the book that I'm going to hold my book because I want all of them to sign it and have them all on, and we can have the conversation. I'm excited about that. We will do that as soon as the election is over.
All right. I'm excited. And Dr. Kimberly, if I could just share for everyone who can come in person on Saturday, October 19th, that's this Saturday at the African American Museum between 1 and 3 p.m. For everyone who comes in person to purchase the book, they will receive a free download of a prayer journal that I am working on. So it's not published in hard copy yet. It is coming. But this prayer journal is going to be life-changing, and it is called Pray with Expectation. No longer will we be praying to say we pray, but we are going to learn to pray with expectation, right? To pray expecting God to move and to answer those prayers and to answer them. He's always on time. We know that, right? But we're going to learn to pray like, oh gosh, Dr. Kimberly, when you go out to eat and you order your food from the waiter and we just expect them to bring back what we asked for. We don't doubt. We don't wonder if they're going to do it. We just order it and we
yes, amen.
And so that's the kind of mindset we need to have. If we can put that much faith in man, then certainly we can put it in the one who created us, right? And so
created that cow that you about to eat.
Amen. And that's what we got to do. We got to learn to pray with expectation. And so that's what we're going to do in this, with a prayer journal. And there'll be prompts for gratitude and also space to write those answered prayers in. Right. And so it's an amazing project that I'm excited to share. And so I just wanted to put that out there as well.
I love shameless plugs. And again, we're here to promote you and what it is that you're doing. We are so excited. We're so excited for how things are moving along. And if you have an opportunity to volunteer and do that, but you can do it just as simple as telling somebody else to vote or agreeing to take someone to the poll.
Absolutely.
Just as simple as that. Then you have done your part. And my computer, I thought it was, I'm sorry about that, y'all. There's move my microphone out the way. There we go.
Yeah, I think that people this year, we need to do more than just go to the polls. Yes, go to the polls and vote, or vote absentee, vote early in person. But when you go vote, take your family and friends with you.
We appreciate Shayna. She came on the other day and her son is getting to vote for the first time. So they're going to the polls as a family. And I think that is so nice that a Black mother is taking her Black son. She's taking him to the polls and not to jail. She's not going to visit them. They're going together. And we really are. We're making some strides and we're moving forward. They just don't always get talked about. But on this platform, they will. So you got some news, you got some things that are going on, or you learn how to do something a different way that you want everybody to know about. Please get a hold of me. Tell your cousin and them, they may have my number. Inbox me. Look, y'all DM everybody else. Come DM me.
That's all right. That's good. That's
I
good.
will put you on as soon as possible. I'm looking for those mothers who have autistic children. There's quite a few, so that we can connect you together with other mothers that have autism. Well, hello, Pumpkin.
That is my grandson. This is Noah. And it went off. Noah just had all this little tablet. Something about the election just popped up. One of those little commercials, they putting them everywhere. Even the kids got to watch them. But
Do you have any final words?
My final word is remember the tips at the beginning. If you came in late, go back and watch the beginning of the show to stay calm in all situations throughout the election period. Go vote. If you haven't voted, cast your vote. Text your family and friends and encourage them to vote because every vote counts. Our vote is our voice. And remember, this Saturday at the African American Museum from 1 to 3 p.m., come on down and say hi and grab a copy of the Trailblazers book.
Well, I will see you guys. We're putting a comma here, not a period. I will be back on Tuesday. And we have a great lineup on next week. Oh my goodness. Great lineup. And on tomorrow, I am taking the time off because I am going to attend the NAACP Gala. I'm excited about that. So I will need to get ready. And I got my nose, my toes all crossed. So hopefully they pick my name. Kamala Harris will be here on tomorrow to do a rally. I'm excited. So hopefully I get to be one of the chosen few that get to go in and see her. So I am patiently awaiting for that. I'm waiting on that golden ticket. They're like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh, absolutely. Will they draw my number?
Yes. So we're waiting patiently. It looks like it's going to be more 12 hours than it is 24 hours before they let folks know.
Yeah,
So
I'm waiting on that email too.
but we are still doing our part and supporting from the top down. So I will be back here on Tuesday because on Saturday I will be at the book signing. Yes. Say busy, busy, busy. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Tune in.
All right, come and check us out Saturday at the Grand Rapids African American Museum. Dr. Kimberly, thank you so much. And God bless you.
All right. I'll see you in the green room. And we're signing off. Thank you. You guys stay safe. It is flu season. And you know what? COVID is now being treated just like the flu. So make sure that you go and get your COVID booster and you get your flu shot. And if you haven't had your pneumonia, get your pneumonia shot as well. They're no fun when you get sick. And even if you think that, hey, it's no big deal, who wants the time off and who wants to feel yucky? I don't. So make sure you guys get all of your vaccinations and your boosters. We'll see you soon.